CQ calling all radio amateurs and listeners. This is Golf Bravo 2 Romeo Sierra, the news broadcasting service of the Radio Society of Great Britain. This broadcast comes to you from amateur radio station Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta in Mapleshall, Bedfordshire. Welcome and thanks for joining us. It's Sunday the 13th of April and here is the GB2RS news broadcast prepared for you by the RSGB for all radio amateurs and listeners. You can also find this news bulletin on our website at rsgb.org along with links to groups and organisations that we may mention in this broadcast. This week's news headlines. You can apply to be in the RSGB team for YOTA Camp 2025, be part of our Exam Tutors Review panel, and how you can catch up with our 2025 Annual General Meeting on YouTube. We'll have more on those items shortly, but first, if you're between 16 and 25, and if you're passionate about amateur radio, then this news is for you. This year's Youngsters on the Air Summer Camp runs from the 18th to the 25th of August at the historical Château de Genville, which is near Paris. It's being organised by the French National Amateur Radio Society, REF, and the IARU, and it's a chance of a lifetime for young RSGB members to represent the UK and the RSGB. We'd love to hear from you if you're ready for exciting experiences and if you'd like to make new friends and want to help shape the future of amateur radio. To find out more and to submit an application, go to rsgb.org/YOTA, that's Yankee Oscar Tango Alpha, -camp. And the closing date is the 2nd of May for team leaders and the 16th of May for team members. So apply today and don't miss out on this fantastic opportunity. Now we'd like to recruit volunteers with exam tutor experience. That's to help improve the quality of the documents issued by the Exam and Syllabus Review Group, or ESRG. The Exam Tutors Review Panel will be an informal group of around 6 tutors, currently providing training for amateur radio licence exams at any of the 3 current levels. Panel members will use their skills to raise the quality of the syllabus, as well as the questions in the question bank and other documentation. And they'll evaluate new documents 2 weeks before their release. And just to note that the ESRG isn't obliged to accept panel member suggestions, but they will explain why if they choose not to use a suggestion. And all documents and correspondence sent to panel members will be confidential until their final public release, and we'll review the Exam Tutors Review panel after 6 months. So, if you'd like to join this panel, then please email Board Director Len Paget, Golf Mike 0 Oscar November X-Ray. Len's email address is Golf Mike 0 Oscar November X-Ray at rsgb.org.uk. Now we'd like to thank everyone who joined the RSGB 2025 Annual General Meeting, which was held yesterday on the 12th of April. If you missed the live event, you can still watch the full live stream on our YouTube channel. And as well as the formal Annual General Meeting business, the board answered questions from members on many topics. You can also watch the President's Review of 2024, which was delivered by John McCulloch, MBE. John's call sign is Golf India 4 Bravo Whiskey Mike, and he was the RSGB President at the time. The Annual General Meeting also included a presentation about our strategy, led by Board Director Mark Jones, Golf 0 Mike Golf X-Ray. We also heard from Board Director Ben Lloyd, Golf Whiskey 4 Bravo Mike Lima, as well as Spectrum Forum Chair Murray Nyman, Golf 6 Juliet Yankee Bravo, and current President Bob Beebe, Golf Uniform 4 Yankee Oscar X-Ray. Now, the video summary on YouTube will have timestamps, so you can skip to any particular part that you may wish to watch. And to find out more about the AGM, including personal statements from the new president, board directors and regional representatives, go to rsgb.org/AGM. Now remember that as part of the celebrations of the centenary of the International Amateur Radio Union, we'll activate special call sign Golf Bravo 0 IARU, and we'll issue commemorative QSL cards throughout April. You can find full details of the special event station on qrz.com, plus details of how you can apply for your commemorative card, and a spreadsheet which shows a list of everyone who's acting or activating the call sign. So on qrz.com, enter the call sign Golf Bravo 0 India Alpha Romeo Uniform in the search box, and that will give you all the information that you need. World Amateur Radio Day 2025 is on Friday the 18th of April, and that coincides with the centenary of the International Amateur Radio Union. This year's theme is Entering the Next Century of Amateur Radio Communications and Innovation. Now, we invite you to take to the air to show your skills and capabilities to the public. You can read more about the event on the IARU website at iarU.org. That's India Alpha Romeo Uniform.org. And now we have a reminder to please send us details of all your news and events to radcom@rsgb.org.uk. The deadline for your news is 10 a.m. on the Thursday prior to the Sunday broadcasts each week. Well, now we move across to details of forthcoming rallies and events. The Moray Firth Amateur Radio Society Surplus Equipment Sale is on Saturday the 19th of April. That's being held at Rosal Village Hall, which is near Berghead, and doors will open to traders at 10 a.m. and to visitors and the general public at 11 a.m. and there'll be catering and ample parking on site. Entry is £5, tables are £10, and you can find out more at the club's website, which is Mike Foxtrot Alpha Romeo Sierra .club. The Cambridge Repeater Group Rally is on Sunday the 27th of April. That's being held at Foxton Village Hall on Hardman Road in Foxton, Cambridge, and the postcode is Charlie Bravo 226 Romeo November. Doors will open at 7:30 a.m. for traders and 9:30 a.m. to visitors, and the entrance is £4. Now, the event includes a car boot sale, trade stands, a bring and buy area, catering, disabled facilities, an RSGB bookstall, and a free marshalled car park. There's a cash and card burger van which will open at 8 a.m. And just a note about dogs. Dogs will only be allowed on the field if they're assistance dogs. And if you need more details on the event, you can go to the club's website, which is Cambridge Repeaters. That's all one word, cambridgerepeaters.net. And now we have the special event news. The Experimental Danish Radio Amateurs Association, which is also known as EDR, or Echo Delta Romeo, will celebrate World Amateur Radio Day on the 18th of April with special event station 5 Papa Zero Whiskey Alpha Romeo Delta. The group will also operate with call sign Oscar Zulu 100 IARU from the 19th to the 27th of April, and that's to celebrate the centenary of the International Amateur Radio Union. For more information, you can go to qrz.com, and you can enter one of these two call signs. You can either use 5 Papa Zero Whiskey Alpha Romeo Delta, or you can enter Oscar Zulu 100 India Alpha Romeo Uniform. The Polish Amateur Radio Union celebrates its 95th anniversary, as well as the centenary of the IARU. And to mark both occasions, they'll have 10 special event stations which will remain active until the 25th of April. You can find full details of the event, as well as available awards, at hamaward.cloud. And I'll spell Ham Award for you. That's Hotel Alpha Mike Alpha Whiskey Alpha Romeo Delta .cloud. The Spanish National Society, URE, will be on the air from the 15th to the 30th of April. They're also celebrating the centenary of the IARU. They'll have 10 special event stations on the air, including Alpha Oscar 100 India Alpha Romeo uniform. They'll be operating on 160 to 6 meters, and you can earn special awards as well as medals for the top entries from each continent with the highest number of contacts with the stations on different bands and modes. And for details, you can have a look at their website, which is uniformromeoecho.Echo Sierra. That's ure.es. And now we have the DX news. Paul, Golf Whiskey Zero November Golf Alpha, will operate on HF from Jamestown in St. Helena. He'll be using the call sign Zulu Delta 7 Papa Golf, and he'll be active from the 12th to the 19th of April during his spare time. You can QSL via his home call sign and possibly also EQSL. And just a reminder of his home call sign, it's Golf Whiskey Zero November Golf Alpha. Aldir, Papa Yankee 1 Sierra Alpha Delta, is active as 8 Romeo 1 Tango Mike. He'll be operating from Georgetown in Guyana, and he'll be active until the 26th of April on all bands using Morse code, SSB, digital and satellite. You can QSL via EQSL and Logbook of the World. Victor Papa 2 Victor India will be on the air from Anegada Island in the British Virgin Islands from the 10th to the 27th of April. The station will be operated by Delta Alpha 1 Delta X-Ray, Delta Kilo 9 India Papa, Delta Mike 6 Echo Echo and Delta Lima 8 Lima Alpha Sierra. To find full details of Victor Papa 2 Victor India, go to qrz.com, and in the search box in the top left hand corner put their call sign Victor Papa 2 Victor India in, and you'll get all the information you need. And now we have the contest news, and quite a short contest news this week. On Tuesday, the 15th of April, the 1.3 GHz UK activity contest will run from 1900 to 2130 UTC. Using all modes on the 23 centimetre band, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. Then on Wednesday, the 16th of April, it's the 80-metre Club Championship, which runs from 1900 to 2030 UTC. Using SSB on the 80-metre band, the exchange is signal report and serial number. And finally, on Thursday the 17th of April, it's the 70 MHz UK activity contest, which runs from 1900 to 2130 UTC. Using all modes on the 4-metre band, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. Well, that's all for the contest news. We now move to the HF radio propagation report, and this was compiled for you by Golf 0 Kilo Yankee Alpha, Golf 3 Yankee Lima Alpha and Golf 4 Bravo Alpha Oscar on Thursday the 10th. Well, a fast solar wind caused some disruption last week, often sending the KP index up to 5, with many 3-hour periods above a KP index of 4. The solar wind speed was between 600 to 700 kilometers per second, and that caused a moderate G2 geomagnetic storm, as well as visible aurora at higher latitudes during midweek. Glancing coronal mass ejections from the Sun on the 9th of April brought a small chance of enhanced geomagnetic activity at the end of the week. The solar flux index fell slightly from 184 on the 5th of April to 167 on Thursday the 10th. There have been a few C-class solar flares and 2 M-class flares over the past 7 days, but there haven't been any X-class events. This geomagnetic activity has taken its toll on HF propagation, with lower critical frequencies at times and lower maximum usable frequencies. This, coupled with a change to summer ionospheric conditions, has meant that maximum usable frequencies over 3,000 kilometers have struggled to rise above 19.7 megahertz. Well, we've probably seen the best of the long-range 10-meter propagation until the autumn, but we will have sporadic E and its associated short skip from next month. Hopefully that will make up for it. Next week, NOAA predicts that the solar flux index will fall to between 135 and 140 by the 15th of April. Geomagnetic conditions are likely to improve, with a KP index of 2 to 3 forecast for the period after the 14th of April. And we may expect more problematic geomagnetic conditions with a predicted KP index of 4 from the 21st to the 24th of April. And that concludes the HF propagation report. We now move across to the VHF and up propagation news. This was put together for you by Golf 3 Yankee Lima Alpha and Golf 4 Bravo Alpha Oscar. The long spell of fine settled weather and strong tropospheric propagation is leaving us for a while, starting this weekend, and the high pressure will give way to slow moving areas of low pressure with cloud and rain for the coming week. It won't rain all the time, but it will be wetter than recent weeks, with some heavy spells of rain and good prospects for rain scatter on the gigahertz bands. There could be some thunder in the heavy rain, so be aware of lightning risk. The meteor scatter prospects are nothing special until the 22nd of April, when we have the Lyrids meteor shower, and they peak on the Tuesday of the following week. So we're still probably relying on random activity for most of the coming week, but with improving chances. The solar conditions have been feeding low-level auroral activity, and it's the time of the year when effective auroral conditions can appear, so do stay alert to the state of the KP index just in case. The good news at this time of year is that sporadic E will eventually make an appearance. You'll usually find that on the 10-meter or 6-meter bands, and it's quite often first seen using digital modes. It will be into late April before we need to get too excited about this though, but there's no harm in getting a set of beacons in mind for tracking an opening. And remember that the main characteristic of sporadic E is that it starts on the lower frequencies, for example 10 meters, and then works up through the 6-meter band, then to the 4-meter band, and finally to 2 meters in a high summer opening. For moon bounce operators, EME path losses are highest at apogee, which is this evening, the 13th, and moon declination is negative and will fall further. Moon windows will shorten, with peak elevation reaching only 8 degrees at the end of next week. 144 MHz sky noise starts the week low, but it will rise during the week to above 2,300 degrees Kelvin on Friday. And that's all from the propagation team this week. And indeed, that's all for this week's GB2RS news broadcast, which was brought to you by Graham, Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta, in Meppershall, Bedfordshire. The news was compiled by the Radio Society of Great Britain, who represent amateur radio and radio amateurs in the UK and abroad. If you have a news item to share, then please email it to us as far in advance as possible, and we'll be happy to include it for you free of charge in the GB2RS news broadcasts, as well as Radcom magazine and the RSGB website. Send your news to the editorial team. Their email address is radcom@rsgb.org.uk. And if your news items are time sensitive, then it's really important that you send them to us by 10 a.m. on the Thursday prior to the news broadcasts. The RSGB retains copyright over all material transmitted. You can find information about amateur radio on our website, which is rsgb.org. And you can also download the full schedule of GB2RS news broadcasts from rsgb.org/GB2RS schedule. Well, we wish you 7-3 from the GB2RS news team. We hope you have a lovely Sunday evening, what's left of it. Hopefully you had a nice Sunday, and we wish you a great week ahead. Well, this is Graham, Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta in Meppershall, Bedfordshire, and I'll now listen for any calls or reports. But first, give me a call if you're new. So if you didn't call in prior to the news, you can call in now. If you did call in previously, I've got you on the list already, and we'll take you from the top of the list once we've got everyone else that wants to call in. So G4JBD now listening for any calls.